There exists an island nation where ancient temples sit beside neon cities, where bullet trains pass through villages unchanged for centuries, where technology and tradition don't compete but dance together in perfect harmony. This is Japan. Not the Japan of tourist brochures and cherry blossom clichés alone. Not the Japan reduced to anime and sushi by those who have never walked through a mountain shrine at dawn. This is the Japan that whispers through bamboo forests, that glows in temple gardens after the crowds leave, that endures in hot spring towns where time moves at the pace of steam rising from mineral water. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notifications. You're about to discover the Japan most people never see, the side that exists beyond the guidebook, the experiences that transform how you understand what a nation can be. This journey begins now. Tokyo is not one city, but 1,000 cities wearing the same name. Shinjuku is blinking neon and skyscrapers that seem to touch the stratosphere. The busiest train station in the world processes 3 million people daily. The chaos is choreographed perfectly. Shibuya Crossing is organized chaos made visible. 3,000 people cross the intersection when the light changes. They move in waves. They never collide. But walk 20 minutes from Shibuya and you find HIMEJI Shrine, 200 acres of forest in the center of the city. The Torii Gate marks the transition from urban to sacred. Asakusa preserves old Tokyo. Sensoji Temple is the city's oldest, founded in the 7th century. The approach is lined with shops selling traditional crafts. Tsukiji Outer Market still operates. The market sells the freshest seafood in the city. Vendors call out. Tourists taste grilled scallops and fresh uni. Tokyo teaches that metropolises can contain nature, that the past survives alongside the future, that 15 million people can live in harmony when infrastructure and culture align perfectly. Kyoto was Japan's capital for over 1,000 years. The city contains over 2,000 temples and shrines. 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites exist within the city limits. Fushimi Inari Shrine is the most photographed site in Japan. 10,000 vermilion torii gates create tunnels up the mountainside. The path climbs through gates so close they form a solid corridor of red. The hike to the summit takes 2 hours. Most tourists turn back after 30 minutes. Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Pavilion, sits beside a reflecting pond. The top 2 floors are covered entirely in gold leaf. The reflection in the water creates a doubled image. Arashiyama's bamboo grove creates a green tunnel. The stalks grow so tall and thick that sunlight barely penetrates. The wind makes the bamboo creak and whisper. Gion District preserves traditional architecture. Wooden machiya townhouses line the narrow lanes. In the evening, if you're lucky, you might see a Geeko or Maiko hurrying to an appointment. Kyoto teaches that preservation requires intention, that protecting the past is an investment in the future. Mount Fuji is the soul of Japan made visible. 3,776 meters of near-perfect volcanic symmetry. The mountain is sacred in Shinto belief. Pilgrims have climbed it for over 1,000 years. The official climbing season runs from early July to early September. During these 2 months, the snow melts enough for safe ascent. Thousands climb nightly to reach the summit for sunrise. The climb is not technically difficult, but the altitude makes it challenging. The summit at dawn is transcendent. The sun breaks the horizon. Light floods across the clouds below. The shadow of Fuji stretches across the landscape like a perfect triangle. But viewing Fuji from a distance offers different beauty. The Five Lakes region provides perfect reflections when the air is still. Lake Kawaguchi and Lake Yamanaka mirror the mountain perfectly. Hakone offers views framed by sulfur steam from the volcanic vents. Mount Fuji teaches that some peaks are more than geology, that sacred mountains exist in the space between earth and heaven. Osaka is Tokyo's earthier cousin, less polished, more direct. The city that never apologizes for being exactly what it is. Dotonbori is sensory overload. Neon signs depicting crabs and octopi move mechanically. Restaurants compete for attention. The energy is frenetic. Locals say, "Kuidaori," eat until you drop. Osaka takes this seriously. Takoyaki, octopus balls, are cooked on every corner. The vendors flip them with practiced precision. Okonomiyaki, savory pancakes, are Osaka's signature dish. Each restaurant has its own recipe and technique. Osaka Castle sits on massive stone walls. The castle has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times. The current structure is a concrete reconstruction, but the walls are original. Some stones are 6 meters long. Shinsekai, New World, is retro Osaka, built in 1912 to showcase the future. Now it's a nostalgic recreation of mid-century Japan. The Tsutenkaku Tower is the neighborhood landmark. Osaka teaches that cities can have personalities. That being second largest means freedom from expectations. Hiroshima carries history heavier than most cities can bear. August 6, 1945. At 8:15 a.m., the first atomic bomb used in warfare detonated 600 meters above the city. 70,000 people died instantly. By the end of the year, the death toll reached 140,000. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial, the atomic bomb dome, is the only structure left standing near the Hypo Center. The building is skeletal, frozen in the moment of destruction. The Peace Memorial Museum documents what happened. The exhibits are graphic. A watch stopped at 8:15. Shadows burned into stone. The human cost made visible in artifacts that survived when their owners did not. But Hiroshima is not defined by tragedy alone. The city rebuilt. The population now exceeds 1 million. Miyajima Island sits in Hiroshima Bay. The floating torii gate of Itsukushima Shrine is one of Japan's most iconic images. At high tide, the gate appears to float on the water. The island is sacred. Deer roam freely. Hiroshima teaches that cities can survive anything. That memory and moving forward are not contradictory. Nara was Japan's first permanent capital in the 8th century, before Kyoto, before Tokyo. The city contains some of Japan's oldest and most important temples. Todaiji Temple houses the Daibutsu, the Great Buddha, 15 meters tall, cast in bronze in the 8th century, 500 tons of metal. The Buddha sits in the world's largest wooden building. Inside, the scale becomes clear. The Buddha dwarfs everything. People look like ants at its base. The deer of Nara Park are the city's unofficial mascots. Over 1,200 Sika deer roam freely. They're considered sacred messengers of the gods in Shinto belief. The deer have learned to bow to tourists who offer crackers. The deer are aggressive about food. They will headbutt you, chase you. Kasuga Taishi Shrine sits at the base of Mount Kasuga. 3,000 stone lanterns line the approach. Inside the shrine, 1,000 bronze lanterns hang from the ceilings. Twice a year, In February and August, all the lanterns are lit. The shrine becomes a golden universe. NARA teaches that the oldest sites are not always the most famous. HAKONE sits in the mountains southwest of Tokyo. The area is famous for hot springs, onsen. The volcanic activity that created Mount Fuji also created the geothermal features that make HAKONE perfect for bathing. The HAKONE Loop is a tourist circuit. Take the romance car train from Shinjuku. Switch to the mountain railway, the steepest railway in Japan. The train climbs through switchbacks. At the top, board the cable car. Then the ropeway over Owakudani, the Valley of Hell. Sulfur vents release steam continuously. The smell is powerful. The landscape is otherworldly. The ropeway descends to Lake Ashi. The lake was formed when a volcanic eruption blocked a river 4,000 years ago. On clear days, Mount Fuji is reflected perfectly in the lake. The onsen are the real attraction. Outdoor baths, Rotenburo, offer views of the mountains while you soak in the mineral-rich water. The etiquette is strict. Wash before entering. No swimsuits, no soap in the pools. The water is hot, approaching uncomfortable, but the minerals are therapeutic. Kamakura was Japan's political center in the 12th century. The city is packed with temples. 75 Buddhist temples and 19 Shinto shrines exist within the city. The Great Buddha of Kamakura sits in the open air, 13 meters tall, cast in bronze in 1252. The Buddha originally sat inside a hall. Tsunamis destroyed the hall in the 15th century. The Buddha remains exposed to the weather and turning green from oxidation. Visitors can enter the statue through a door in the back. Stand inside the bronze casting and see how thick the metal is. Hasadera Temple sits on a hillside overlooking the ocean. The 11-headed cannon statue is over 9 meters tall. Gilded wood. The expression is serene. The temple gardens offer views across Kamakura to the sea. In June, hydrangeas bloom on the slopes. The flowers create blue and purple waves cascading down the hill. The beaches attract surfers. The waves are reliable. The water is cold, but the surf culture is strong. Kamakura teaches that political power is temporary, that Buddha statues outlast the halls built to house them. NIKKO sits in the mountains north of Tokyo. The area is sacred. The shrines and temples here are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Toshogu Shrine is the most elaborate shrine in Japan, built to house the remains of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the shogun who unified Japan. The shrine is an explosion of color and gold. Every surface is decorated, carved, and painted. Gold leaf covers the important elements. The famous 3 wise monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, are carved above a doorway. The Yomeimon Gate is the shrine's masterpiece, covered in over 500 sculptures, including dragons, flowers, and legendary figures. The detail is overwhelming. The Shinkyo Bridge is vermilion lacquered wood spanning a gorge. The bridge was restricted to the shogun and imperial messengers historically. The autumn colors in NIKKO are spectacular. The mountains surrounding the town turn red and gold in November. Lake Chuzenji sits at a higher elevation. The Kigon Falls drop 97 meters in a single fall. In winter, the falls partially freeze, creating ice formations. NIKKO teaches that elaborate decoration can be sacred. Himeji Castle is the finest surviving example of Japanese castle architecture. The castle was never destroyed in war, never burned. It survived World War II bombing. The structure that stands today is original, built in 1609. The castle is white, brilliant white. The plaster walls gleam in the sunlight. The nickname is Shirasagi-jo, White Heron Castle. The resemblance to a bird about to take flight is striking. The defensive design is ingenious. The approach to the main keep winds through gates and courtyards. Attackers would be exposed from multiple angles and trapped in killing zones. The path appears to lead to the keep, but actually doubles back. The confusion was intentional. Inside the main keep, the structure is wood. 6 floors, but 7 levels. The hidden floor was a defensive surprise. The top floor offers views across Himeji City to the surrounding mountains. The castle grounds contain over 1,000 cherry trees. In April, the castle seems to float on a cloud of pink blossoms. The combination of white walls and pink flowers is achingly beautiful. Himeji Castle teaches that military architecture can be beautiful. Kanazawa is the city that war forgot. While other Japanese cities were bombed during World War II, Kanazawa was spared. The historical districts survived intact. Kenrokuin Garden is considered one of the 3 most beautiful gardens in Japan. The name means Garden of 6 Sublimities. The garden was developed over 2 centuries by the ruling Maida family. The garden changes with the seasons. Spring brings cherry blossoms. Summer brings irises. Autumn brings maples. Winter brings yukitsuri, ropes tied from treetops to the ground, preventing branches from breaking under the snow weight. The Nagamachi Samurai District preserves the narrow lanes and earthen walls where samurai families lived. Some of the houses are open to the public. The interiors show how the warrior class lived during peacetime. The 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art is a radical departure. The building is a glass cylinder. The exhibits are cutting edge. Omicho Market has operated for almost 300 years. The market sells Kanazawa's famous seafood, including crab, yellowtail, and sea urchin. Kanazawa teaches that avoiding destruction preserves options. Shirakawa-Go and Gokayama are remote mountain villages and UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Famous for Gashozukuri farmhouses, the name means constructed like hands in prayer. The roofs are steeply pitched and built to shed heavy snow. The region receives some of the deepest snow in Japan. 20 feet is normal. The roofs are thatched with thick layers of Suzuki grass. The pitch is 60 degrees, so snow slides off without accumulating. Inside, the houses are 3 or 4 stories tall. The upper floors were used for silkworm cultivation. The houses are 250 years old. Some are older. Many are still inhabited by families who have lived in the same houses for generations. In winter, the villages are illuminated on specific evenings. The thatched houses glow golden against the snow. Snow covers everything. The scene is like a fairy tale with unreal beauty. The villages teach that traditional architecture solves practical problems, that communities in harsh environments develop specific solutions, that preservation requires people living traditions, not just protecting buildings, that some places seem designed for photographers. Takayama sits in the Japanese Alps. The old town preserves Edo period streetscapes with wooden buildings and latticed windows. Sake breweries are marked by spheres of cedar branches hanging above the door. The morning markets along the Miyagawa River sell local produce including mountain vegetables, pickles, and crafts. The vendors are often elderly and have sold in the same spot for decades. The Takayama festival happens twice yearly, in spring and autumn. The festival is one of the 3 most beautiful in Japan. Elaborate floats parade through the streets. The floats are masterpieces of lacquered wood, gold leaf, and mechanical puppets operated by hidden craftsmen. The festival honors local deities, gives thanks, and prays for good fortune. The sake in Takayama is exceptional. The water comes from the Japanese Alps, pure and mineral-rich. The breweries offer tastings. The rice is local, and the techniques are traditional. Hida beef rivals Kobe beef. The cattle are raised in the surrounding mountains. The marbling is intense, and the flavor is rich. Takayama teaches that small cities can preserve big traditions, that festivals connect the present to the past. Matsumoto Castle is the anti-Himeji. Where Himeji is white, Matsumoto is black. The exterior walls are black wood. The nickname is Karasu-jo, Crow Castle. The castle was built for war. The black walls were for intimidation. The castle sits on a plain surrounded by the Japanese Alps. The setting is dramatic with snow-capped peaks framing the dark castle. The contrast is striking. The interior is functional with wooden floors and steep stairs. The moon viewing room was added during peacetime, the only part of the castle designed for pleasure rather than defense. The castle is original, built in the late 16th century. Like Himeji, it survived wars and fires. The preservation is remarkable. The city around the castle is less traditional with modern buildings and regular urban development. But the castle grounds maintain the moat, the stone walls, and the gates. Spring brings cherry blossoms, and the black castle walls against pink flowers create stunning contrast. Matsumoto teaches that not all castles are white. That black can be just as beautiful. That military architecture doesn't have to sacrifice aesthetics. Nagano hosted the 1998 Winter Olympics. The city is a mountain sports destination, but the cultural attractions matter more. Zenkoji Temple is one of Japan's most important pilgrimage sites, established in the 7th century. The temple houses the first Buddha statue brought to Japan. The statue is hidden in absolute secrecy and never displayed. A copy is shown once every 7 years. Pilgrims come hoping for a blessing even without seeing the statue. The morning ceremony draws hundreds of worshippers. Monks in elaborate robes chant sutras. The head priest walks through the crowd, touching heads with his rosary and conferring blessings. The atmosphere is thick with devotion. The snow monkeys of Jigokudani are Nagano's other major attraction. Japanese macaques bathe in hot springs. The monkeys discovered the thermal pools and adopted human bathing behavior. They sit in the water up to their necks, while snow accumulates on their heads. They look like contemplative old men. The behavior is learned and passed down through generations. Nagano teaches that Olympics bring infrastructure, that pilgrimage sites draw devotion across centuries. Kobe is wedged between the mountains and the sea. The city developed as a port, and Western influence arrived early. The Kitano district preserves Western-style houses built by foreign traders in the late 19th century. The architecture is Victorian, colonial, and European, distinctly not Japanese. The houses are museums now, each representing a different country. Kobe beef is the city's most famous export. The cattle are the Tajima-Gyu breed, raised in Hyogo Prefecture. The requirements are strict. The marbling must reach a certain grade. The The flavor is intense, and the texture is butter soft. Restaurants serve it as steak or shabu-shabu. The thin slices cook in seconds. The city's Chinatown, Nankinmachi, is one of 3 large Chinatowns in Japan. The restaurants serve Chinese food, adapted to Japanese tastes. The result is unique, neither purely Chinese nor Japanese. The Great Hanshin earthquake of 1995 devastated Kobe. 6,400 people died. The city rebuilt. The memorial park remembers the tragedy. Kobe teaches that ports create cultural fusion, that Western architecture can exist in Japan without contradiction. Sapporo is the capital of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost main island. The city is young by Japanese standards, founded in 1868 and built on a grid system with Western-style planning. The result is unusually navigable for a Japanese city. The Sapporo Snow Festival is held each February. 2 million visitors come to see the ice and snow sculptures. The sculptures are massive, buildings, characters, and pure art. Teams work for weeks creating them. The sculptures stand for 1 week, then are destroyed. Impermanence made cold. The beer is Sapporo's other major attraction. The Sapporo Beer Museum documents the history, while the beer garden attached serves fresh beer and Genghis Khan, grilled mutton. The combination is a local tradition. The Susukino district is the entertainment quarter with restaurants and bars, the largest red light district in Hokkaido. The atmosphere is energetic, slightly seedy, and entertaining. The ramen in Sapporo is miso-based, different from Tokyo's soy sauce base. The broth is rich and the noodles are thick. Each region of Japan has a distinct ramen style, and Sapporo's is among the best. Otaru is a port city 30 minutes from Sapporo. The Canal District preserves 19th-century warehouses. The buildings are brick and stone with Western influence. The canal is lined with gas lamps. At night, the lamps create a romantic atmosphere. The warehouses are shops and restaurants now. Music boxes are Otaru's specialty. The Otaru Music Box Museum contains thousands of music boxes, antique and modern. The mechanisms are visible, and the sounds are delicate. Visitors can build custom music boxes by choosing the mechanism, the box, and the song. The glasswork is famous, with artisans still practicing traditional techniques. Shops sell glass ornaments and vases. The work is delicate and beautiful. The sushi in Otaru is exceptional. The fish comes directly from the harbor: sea urchin, crab, and salmon. The freshness is remarkable. Restaurants compete on quality, not gimmicks. Otaru teaches that port cities develop distinct character, that warehouses can become cultural assets, that music boxes are charming, that proximity to the ocean means exceptional seafood, that small cities can be destinations despite being near larger cities. You have witnessed Japan beyond the expected, from the electric pulse of Tokyo to islands where ancient cedars remember 7,000 years, from castles that survived centuries to villages buried under snow each winter, from temples older than most nations to cities rebuilt from atomic ash. You understand now that Japan is not one story, but countless stories. Each region is distinct. Each tradition is maintained. Each generation balances preservation with progress. If this journey moved you, subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with someone who needs to see Japan beyond the guidebook. Leave a comment telling us which destination called to you most. Because there are layers to this nation, that no single visit can uncover, depths that require years to understand, beauty that reveals itself slowly to those patient enough to look. The seasons will turn, the blossoms will bloom and fall, the snow will accumulate and melt, and through it all, Japan will continue being exactly what it has always been, a nation that honors the past while creating the future. Thank you for traveling with us. We'll see you on the next adventure.